I'll say good day to you this day of your time. How are you all? All right. First of all, we will thank each and every one of you individually and all of you together collectively for the co-creation of this interaction. Each and every time you allow our civilization to interact with you in this way, it creates for us a new gift, a new link, a new bridge to create with you a third reality in which we can interact more and more every day, bringing us closer together towards the idea of eventual contact. So we thank you for the gift that you are giving us in allowing us to experience through you that many more facets of the multidimensional crystal of all that is. We would like to begin this transmission, this day of your time, in the following way. We have labeled this transmission ship to ship. The idea now is that whereas heretofore our specific craft had been over the area on your planet that you refer to as Cairo, now it has for some time been positioned over your present area on your planet that you call Sedona. We are approximately at this moment, in your terms of counting, 2,979 miles above your head. The idea of positioning our ship in this way at this time, and for what you would call the foreseeable future, is for the purpose of aiding and assisting in the balancing of energy on your planet for some of the transitions and transformations that are going to be going on as your consciousness begins to shift in frequency at this time. As you begin to explore new ideas of awareness, new ideas of consciousness, you will encounter certain things within your psychological makeup, within your personality construct, that will require the idea of the examination of personal beliefs and will require the idea of the transformation of definitions within you. As you allow yourself to go through these processes of transformation, changing the definitions that you have been taught for many thousands of years to new definitions of how to perceive your reality, it may cause fluctuations in energy, and it may cause the idea of outer reflections in your world, in your physical reality of those fluctuations in energy. So we will aid and assist each and every one of you to create a kind of a buffer, a kind of a balance in energy, with many ships positioned at many places around your planet that are considered vortices, balance points, energy gates, doorways, whatever you wish to call them. We don't care. But the idea is that by positioning many ships in these places and by focusing our consciousness in this way into specific areas that are representative of certain energies and certain frequencies, we can aid and assist you in this process by providing a kind of energy buffer, a kind of entrainment, a kind of a frequency that will help guide you more and more in every day and every way toward your fuller selves, toward your higher selves, and will provide you some degree of guidance to not fear going through these processes of examining your old beliefs and transforming your old definitions. We can guarantee you one thing for sure. As you go through these processes of spiritual exploration, you will always, always, always only discover more of who you are. In that context, there is nothing to fear. You may experience fear on the journey as you come in contact with old beliefs that are out of alignment with your true self. It may, in that sense, allow you to experience doubt. It may, in that sense, allow you to experience concepts of lack of self-worth and all the things that you may have been taught as children on your planet. But as you allow yourself to go through these experiences, as you examine these old beliefs that no longer serve you, and as you are willing to transform your definitions of life into something that you prefer, into something that is more in alignment with your true inner core self, then you may rely upon the fact that you are always being aided, not only by us, but by your own guides and many other spirits on different levels of reality. You are always being guided, always being assisted with a buffering energy of unconditional love that acts as an environment, an atmosphere in which you can allow yourselves to feel buoyed up, girded up, if you wish, and be supported in total from the total family of spirit that you are also a part of. We have heard many individuals on your planet talk about the idea of incarnating on Earth as if you were in some kind of lower class, some kind of kindergarten. I tell you, this is far from the truth. The idea is that because of the degree of limitation that you knew you would experience on Earth in an incarnation or many incarnations, because of that degree of limitation, because of the degree of darkness, because of the degree of transformation required, this is a master class, and all of you were strong enough to choose this, so please never think less of yourselves by being incarnated on Earth. You are teaching many beings throughout the cosmos, throughout different dimensions, how to transform limitation into freedom. You are a master class, and we thank you for the strength that you are exhibiting in choosing to be on Earth at this time of transformation. Applaud yourselves. Now then, in the idea of forming this more whole being that you all are, as we have recently talked about, it is an issue specifically of allowing there to be a balance between your physical mind and your higher mind in a very specific kind of way. We are, in that sense, in a ship, but our ship is actually a physical representation of our higher self. It is aware, and even as it cocoons us and supports us, it communes with us. We are linked telepathically. Notice again I said telempathically, because it is always from the heart that telepathy issues. And in communing with our higher selves take us to places that are beyond the physical mind's imagining. You too can allow yourselves to form this bond with your own higher selves, and even though it may not necessarily right now in your technology take the form of a spacecraft per se, it does take the form of an energy bubble around you that you typically call an aura. That is one of the energy ways in which you are connected, in which you form a link between the idea of the physical self and the non-physical higher mind. But there is something further, and we will get into that in just a moment. So, even though we have told you that in our society we are telepathic and do not need names, as we have said, we know you needed to call us something, and so chose the word Bashar from one of your own Earth languages, which simply means messenger. The idea, therefore, is that it is an appropriate representation of what we are doing. And even as we are telepathic with our ships, and they also do not need names, the vibration of my ship specifically would translate into your language as the word nexus. You may thus then refer to my ship as Nexus. It will accept it, in a sense, as a recognizable name. Each and every one of you in this endeavor, in a sense, will be creating your own ship, your own SS relationship with yourselves. The idea of creating this relationship with your own higher mind will allow you to function in physical reality as whole people. You see, for thousands of years, many of you have forgotten that the idea is not to allow your physical mind to run everything. It is not designed to do that. It never was. That's why sometimes it gets so stressed, is because it has been given the burden on its shoulders, its poor little shoulders, of trying to run everything, trying to make everything work. It burns out that way very quickly. But when you allow yourself to work in harmony, in a harmonious relationship between the physical mind and the higher mind, then you're actually functioning as the whole person you were designed to function as. when the physical mind is given the undue burden of having to run everything, having to think of everything, having to know how everything's going to work out, worry itself to death, it becomes exhausted. It starts to slow down. It starts to break down. It starts to go insane. I think you can see there is quite a lot of examples of that on your planet. So the idea is to start to lighten up on yourselves, lighten the burden on your physical mind, and recognize the physical mind does not have the capacity to know how things are going to happen in your life. Only the higher mind does. Physical mind is designed to know how things are happening now. Physical mind is the perceiver. It is not the conceiver. Higher mind is the conceiver. The physical brain is the receiver. The physical personality is the perceiver. That's its job. Don't overburden it. Now we give you another aspect of this idea, something that can aid and assist you in forming this balance, this connection, this bond, this relationship more solidly, more thoroughly with your higher mind. And this is where we will step into an arena that many of you may recognize as your works of science fiction. In one of your science fiction stories that you have labeled on your planet as Star Trek, there is the concept that has been put forth called the neutral zone. The neutral zone is what you typically refer to as an area between two opposing forces that creates a border, a barrier that no one should enter, that is neutral, hands off. But we would like to take that concept of the neutral zone and use it in a very different way. And this will link to something that is actually existing in the receiver of your brain. In the very center of your brain is an area your scientists have labeled the corpus callosum. And in the very center of the corpus callosum is a very small little area, a pinpoint area called the neutral zone. At least that's what we're going to call it now. In that neutral zone is where many different vibrational frequencies come together. In the neutral zone in the brain, you will find that the energy of the pineal gland, which allows you to see into other dimensions, and the energy of the corpus callosum, and the energy of the base of the brain stem that keeps you grounded in physical reality, keeps you regulated in physical perception, all come together in a very specific way. And if you can learn to balance that neutral zone and all the energy in it, you will go a long way toward aiding and assisting yourself in transforming any obstacle, any problem, any challenge in your life, redefining any definition whatsoever. Let us explain by giving a graphic illustration that your mind can lock on to. Imagine for a moment, if you will, a circle. Now split the circle this way in half and say that below the line is your physical mind and above the line is your higher mind, your non-physical mind. The line in the center, the barrier between the two is not the neutral zone. It is what we have labeled the template level reality. It is the blueprint level where conceptions from the higher mind take form and begin to crystallize and solidify into the blueprint energies that then densify down into physical materialization. And it is the template level where your ideas, your physical thoughts, your energies, your emotions rise up in frequency, go into the template level reality, and work with the higher mind to form the blueprint of the kind of life you would prefer, to lay out the foundations of certain events that you might like to happen, certain things you would like to attract into your life. All of this happens within the template level, the blueprint level reality. But now that you have this diagram with the circle, the template level reality dividing the line between the lower physical mind and the higher mind itself, and by higher and lower, I only mean vibrationally. This is not a judgment call of lesser or better than. In the very center now, interrupting the template level reality, create another small circle. That is the neutral zone. And the neutral zone is where the energy of the physical mind from below, the higher mind from above, and the template level all meet and all start to become one and the same vibration. They all start to diffuse in this little circle. This little circle, the neutral zone, neutralizes everything. It's like a cosmic or spiritual washing machine. It's as if you threw bleach onto all your beliefs, all your ideas. It takes all of the smudges out. It tangles everything up, makes everything the same energy so that you can reconfigure and reconform any idea you want in any way you want. The neutral zone is like a crucible where everything melts down, dissolves, and turns into the same liquid, undifferentiated. And all then from that liquid can be pulled. You can create a kind of plastic state of neutrality in which you can transform any idea, throw it in the wash, pull it out new. That's what the neutral zone is for, to take your definitions that are not working for you, your challenges, your ideas that are making you feel stuck, your feelings that are out of alignment with how you would prefer to feel. Allow yourself to give them to the neutral zone and use this in the appropriate way, and you will begin to see that all these things will start to dissolve. And you will begin to form a relationship, an active partnership with the higher mind and the physical mind. And you'll be able to use the template level reality more clearly in a crystal way of understanding to redefine your reality and attract into your life what you prefer. Understand that a very important part of the neutral zone is that it is truly neutral in attitude. There is no expectation in the neutral zone for what must happen or what must be or what your goals are or what you think they should be. Everything you throw in there will come into a neutral place where it truly can be reassessed and reconfigured without expectation. Let it come back out. Let it flow back out into the physical world, into the higher mind, in the way that is best representative of what will serve you and allow you to become your true natural self, which is an unconditional vibration of love and support. Does this make some sense to you? Yes. When we also later talk about the idea of the holotope, we will incorporate this notion of the neutral zone very strongly in what you will experience in that specific 15-minute focus in hyperspace. Because the neutral zone is all about hyperspace, where everything and every possibility exists. Everything that can exist exists in the neutral zone, but it is all utterly neutralized. There is no built-in meaning, no positive, no negative. It's all blended into one neutral vibration, one neutral tone, one neutral light. That neutral light, that neutral zone is a source of great power, great transformation, if you learn to use it as the very refined, very powerful, very specific tool that it is. So, keep that in mind and understand that even now, just hearing us talk about this idea of the neutral zone will begin to change the frequency within your brain, begin to rewire your thinking, and begin to allow you more capability of more access to that neutral zone. Because every single thought, and even your own scientists are beginning to understand this now as true, every single thought, and I mean every single thought, without exception, actually rewires, changes the direction of the neurological pathways of your brain. Every single thought. When you learn to rewire the pathways of your brain neurologically in a very specific way and aim those pathways at the neutral zone in the center of your brain, great explosive things can happen in your life. Don't be afraid, it will be all right. The idea of things beginning to happen quickly, of things coming unglued, unstuck, things changing very rapidly is all right. It will never go faster than you're ready to handle, never go faster than you're ready to process, because otherwise, what would be the point? The idea is that it will take the pace that actually is representative of what you're capable of processing. So if it seems to go faster than you think you can go, recognize that that is just a physical mind belief system, and you can neutralize it and let yourself accelerate. You will be able to do it in a very smooth, transformational way. Now, we once again will wish to thank each and every one of you for the co-creation of this interaction and allowing us to talk about the idea that as you form stronger relationships with yourself, you will form stronger relationships with us and with every being in creation. And many things will become clear that were not clear before. Remember, you cannot perceive what you are not the vibration of. So being in the state of being that you prefer to be in first is of paramount importance before you will be capable of attracting the reflection of that vibration. That's why circumstances don't matter. That's why only state of being does. Allow yourselves to remember that you are simply consciousness vibrating at a certain frequency. That is your unique signature vibration. Whatever that collective vibration within you is, will determine utterly how you experience the idea of your reality. Allow yourself to know you are always capable of choosing what you prefer to experience, but also allow yourself to be aware of the fact that you must develop discernment to be able to tell the difference between the belief systems that are out of alignment with your truth and the belief systems that are representative of your natural self. And that process of learning that difference is what the entire relationship is all about, and why, for the most part, thematically, you have all chosen to incarnate on Earth in this day and age of transformation. The experience itself of transforming limitation to freedom, darkness to light, is what it's all about on your planet at this time. And once again, I remind you of the fact that this is a master class. Do not think less of yourselves. Do not think you are far behind. Remember, with what we have called the rubber band analogy, the farther back you pull your rubber band into the darkness, the faster and farther it will fly into the light when you finally let it go. So you are on the verge, on the edge of great acceleration. Your entire reality is coming unglued. Space and time becoming more malleable, more flexible. Let it go. Let it happen in its own natural way. You no longer need to be concerned about time, but what you do need to focus on and allow into your lives more is simply timing. knowing that everything occurs in perfect timing if you stay in the vibration of your preferred natural self. And what is the vibration of your preferred natural self? That which represents your highest passion, your highest joy, your highest excitement, your highest love. That is your translation of the unconditional vibration of creation. Acting on your passion to the best of your ability is being the compass needle that points unerringly to magnetic north. Be that vibration and allow your life to unfold. Physical mind does not need to make your life happen. It does not have the capacity to make it happen. It doesn't even have the capacity to know how it's going to happen. Do not force it to do a job it was not designed to do, or it will break down quickly, especially now, because when things accelerate, the more resistance there is to your natural self, the more painful it will be. Even a little bit of resistance can actually cause a lot of pain, because you will create the experience of disconnection. So clean all the old beliefs out that do not serve you. You do not need to hold on to them. Reinstate or create with your imagination, which is the conduit of communication to the higher mind, your imagination. Create new beliefs that are the beliefs you prefer. And allow yourself to know they are as equally valid as any belief you've ever had, and that creation will support them as equally valid as any belief you've ever had. Change your definitions. Change them in ways that serve you. Know that you are always abundant. Know that you are always trusting. The question is, what are you abundant in? What are you trusting in? You don't have to learn to be trusting. You don't have to learn to be abundant. You're all perfectly abundant. You're all perfectly trusting right now. But what are you trusting in? Do you trust more in lack? The idea is to understand and change where the trust is, where the abundance is, so it can be represented by something that is more in alignment with what you prefer it to be, with who you know you are. Does that make sense? Does that feel like your passion? I can't hear you. That's passion. Remember, as we have recently talked about, we all know you have many different ways of doing things. You call many different techniques, many different rituals, many different permission slips. Everything is a permission slip. And one of the strong permission slips you have created for yourself recently, many of you call the secret, the law of attraction. But forget not that there is a secret to the secret. And that is, you have to not only be passionate, you have to be passionate about being passionate. So that every aspect of your life is filled with that, no matter what it is that happens. Neutralize all the negativity. Imbue it with the energy of passion, and it will reflect back to you unerringly what it is that you prefer. Always. It's in your hands. You are in charge. It's your life. No one can do it for you. Not even us. Not even creation. In return for the gift that you are giving to us now in this exchange, we ask, in what way may we continue to be of service to you through dialogue? You may begin your questions if you wish.
Many years ago...
One moment. What happened to hello and good day?
Hello. And thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you. Good day. Proceed.
Many years ago, Darryl was visiting the internet.
Day.
I would like to ask a question about the labyrinth, the big labyrinth that we have here at Angel Valley.
Yes, the labyrinth.
When we were designing it, we have been discussing that with you, that it was at the same time could be a landing pad for for you.
Yes.
My question is, how has that developed? How has the use of the labyrinths, as it has been done in these last few years, how has that, let's say, it being a landing pad or possible landing pad, how has that developed? Is it still?
It is about 57% of the way there.
57%.
Yes.
Okay. And what do you think we could, we and maybe those who are here and have the availability today to walk this labyrinth, how
Use
can
it, use it, use it, and in using it, let go, let go, let go of all preconceptions and old beliefs. Let go, let go, let go of your typical orientation. Let go, let go, let go of ideas and definitions that do not serve. Let go, let go, let go of who you think you ought to be, and just be who you are.
That's fantastic. Thank you.
There are two more questions from our listeners. Can humans have intimate romantic relationships with aliens?
Depends upon what you mean by intimate and romantic.
Can you share with us the kinds of relationships that humans can have with aliens?
Regardless of the form, the spirit and the heart are always the same.
And?
What more is there?
Well, okay, so, I don't know, can you just elaborate on it a little more? I mean, about how...
What do you want me to do? Light candles?
Well, if it had helped bring some light to the subject.
All right.
Well, let's see. Well, for example, I guess in a way, you know, humans have hybrid children. So
Yes.
those are parent-child relationships
Yes.
between humans and aliens,
Yes.
right?
In a sense, although remember, the idea of the Greys that are creating the hybridization program is that they are actually mutated humans from a parallel reality. So all of the genetic material is actually human.
Okay, so is there a way that, I guess a lot of people who have hybrid children are really interested in linking in with their children or feeling that relationship a little more strongly?
Yes.
Do you have suggestions or ways that they can attune themselves to that vibration?
Yes. When they go to sleep, ask the child to send them a consistent single image that represents an object that would be an object tuned to their belief system of the parent that would allow them the best opportunity to tune to the frequency of the child.
Okay, that sounds fun.
And you can do that for any relationship with an extraterrestrial.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right, we have our next questioner, so thank you, Bashar.
Yes.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Good day to you, too. I am extremely pleased to be interacting with you.
We are extremely pleased you are there.
Thank you. I'm at a point in my life where many things have manifested and I have dissolved, transmuted many beliefs.
Yes.
Probably the next step in my life is to move forward in terms of following my highest excitement as far as career.
One moment. Is that the next step, or is it only probably the next step?
Well, you're right in that it's probably the next step.
Then it's not yet your excitement, is it, to do so?
It's pretty much clouded by a filter, a fear filter.
And the fear would be a fear of what?
What I have most recently identified is the fear that the universe would not support me in what I would like to do. Excuse
me, one moment. I know you can't tell from your side, but everyone on my side is laughing. One moment. We will let things calm down.
I'm glad that I've been so entertaining.
Yes, thank you. You're all better than motion pictures, of course, for us.
I know it's a ludicrous belief.
It is not that it is ludicrous as a belief, as much as it actually is impossible.
That's what I'm coming to accept the realization
Now,
of.
you can have the experience of not being supported by creation. That's real as an experience. But you cannot actually not be supported by creation. If you were suddenly not supported by creation, you wouldn't exist enough to ask the question.
Yes, I
You
understand.
understand?
Yes, I do.
So the very fact you have the ability to ask the question, am I being supported? I don't think so, means you are being supported.
Yes.
So, the idea is that the universe and creation always supports you in everything, including in the belief you are not supported. That's how supported you are.
Yes.
You're even allowed to believe you're not supported. But by definition, if you weren't really supported, you wouldn't exist. So that ends that conversation.
I'm glad.
So the question is not, will the universe support me? Of course it will. The question is, what are you asking the universe to support you in?
Following,
It will support
yes.
you in whatever you tell it to support you in, as it always does, because it can't do anything but do that. If the universe, if creation stopped supporting you for the tiniest fraction of a moment, the entirety of creation would collapse because it would have stopped supporting itself.
Thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So, what would you prefer creation to support you in instead of what you have been insisting that it support you in that you don't prefer?
In knowing myself, understanding what that means, understanding how I'm an aspect of all that is, and being
Yes.
able to teach this.
Well, in what way would you see yourself doing that? In what way would be an exciting methodology for you to express what you say it would excite you to express?
Some I see a synchronistic interplay with people where there's someone who is attracted and we end up in a synchronistic conversation.
All right. Be more specific. What does it look like? Describe an actual physical encounter in which this occurs. Don't leave out any details. You know how we love detail.
I guess I'm in the hot seat, so I'm going to have to think of this.
So you are not allowing your imagination full reign.
Yes, I understand. These
All
are
right,
things
now,
I've not practiced.
One moment. Or 5. Remember, when you allow your imagination more free reign and you come up with an image of something that is truly representative in your mind's eye of what symbolizes to you your ideal preferred reality, remember, don't insist that the image your mind came up with is the way it must appear.
Yes.
Here's the paradox. Your physical mind, we're going back to this, is only capable of imagining so much. It cannot know how something is actually going to happen. Sometimes the image your mind conjures up, given to you by your higher mind, may be the best way for that to happen in your life, and it may come true, as you say, in almost exactly the way you imagined it. But that can be misleading, because that gets your physical mind with its habit-forming habit to think that it always has to be exactly what you conjure up, or it's not working. But here again is the secret. That's only a symbol. It's only for the purpose of generating the energy, the state of being of what you prefer. Just because you created a way in which it looks doesn't mean it actually has to look that way to give you what you want. So if you use that vision, you use that image, you use that symbol, as a representation of what you prefer, but don't insist it has to look that way, then you allow your higher mind to actually bring it to you in a way that actually could be better than you imagine. Because what to the physical mind may seem to be the highest possible way it could manifest, to the higher mind is the lowest way it could manifest. What to you is the ceiling, to the higher mind is the floor. So just use it as a guide, as a template, as a symbol to generate the feeling that it would give you if it manifested the way you imagine. But let your higher mind surprise you with ways in which it could manifest that are actually even better than your physical mind is capable of imagining. Does that sound like fun?
Yes, it does.
Does that help you open up to your excitement a little bit more?
Yes, it's
Yes?
giving me the desire to want to play with imagination.
All right. Do you believe that if you give over and play with your imagination and actually act on your excitement, that you will be capable of being supported in your life?
Yes, because
All right.
I have much evidence of other aspects of my life that have been supported.
And
I think,
if that, then why not that?
because I think I've had some very deep-seated beliefs
Yes.
that have told me otherwise.
All right. And do you have them now?
There,
Hesitation means yes,
yes,
a bit.
but
But that's all right. All
They're-
we're saying is that if you act to the best of your ability when you can,
Yes.
on your highest excitement, then the process that will come up will be the process necessary to bring those other beliefs to your attention and get you to integrate them.
yes,
That's also what excitement does. That's why we say it's not only the driving engine of your life, it's the organizing principle. It will bring you whatever else you need to look at within yourself that requires integration within your consciousness.
Yes.
So it's a perfect, self-contained, self-accelerated, self-expanding mechanism.
yes, I understand.
Does that help you?
Yes, it helps immensely.
Thank you.
May I ask one more question?
That was a question.
Yeah. I have a lot of synchronicity with numbers,
Yes.
multiple numbers.
Many of you do.
What is,
Many of you do. Many of you set that up for yourselves as a check to make sure your synchronicity is working.
aha,
So, in a sense, it tells you, yes, 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 it's working. Yes, stop checking. Yes, all right. Yes, okay. Yes, it's working.
that's what I tell myself when I see these numbers, so there's my reality.
Yes, because it's easy. It's easy in most of your belief systems to manipulate synchronicity with respect to numbers. So you do
Yes.
it to show yourself, oh, yes, I got a handle on that.
I
So it shows
understand.
you over and 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 over again. Yes, you are a master of synchronicity. Look how easy it is. Now apply it to something you care about. You follow?
I'm following. Hopefully, eventually, I'll get the ding on the head.
You will. And when you do, your number will be up.
Thank you, Bashar. My immense love to you.
Hi, Bashar.
Andy, you good day.
I have a question about fear and trying
fear.
to, I guess, remove your fear to move on to the next step.
Well, you transform. In other words, listen, you are a 100% energy, all of you. You only have one energy. When you filter that energy through belief systems that are in harmonious alignment with your true self, you experience the sensation called joy, love, passion, excitement. When you filter the same energy through belief systems that are out of alignment with your core self, you experience the same energy in the sensation you call fear. So fear is a friend that tells you, hey, you're filtering your energy through belief systems that are not what you prefer them to be. So I'm bringing them to your attention through the mechanism called fear. It means you have a misalignment between your belief and what you prefer in your heart, in your core that you are. So the fear is like someone knocking on the door saying, message, sir, you have a belief that doesn't work for you. This has been the fear delivery service. Thank you, fear. Here's your tip. Have a good day. Now you're no longer afraid of fear because you know fear brings you information you need to be more of yourself.
Okay, so I have another part to that question. So
Yes.
I was thinking about teleportation, for example.
Yes.
And I identified all these reasons why I possibly couldn't do it. I may get lost someplace, I may get stuck someplace,
Yes.
it may not work, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes.
So now that I've identified those, what's the best technique to actually
Would you
analyze?
like a mantra that works for us?
Sure,
2 words. That's all. Very powerful. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you sure?
Yep,
All right, here they are. Are you sure you're ready to receive these 2 words?
I'm very sure.
Oh, all right. here they are. So what? So you get stuck in a wall. So what? So you die in the process. So what? You're an eternal being of spirit.
That's a bit of a problem for me, though.
Why? What do you care?
Well, I guess I do. And
Why? I'm asking you, why? Why do you care? Why do you care?
Because I guess I'm not completely convinced that I'm an eternal being.
Ah, thank you. Very well spoken. Now then, let's take this one step at a time so your logical mind can follow. Do you exist?
Yes, I do.
What is the only quality existence has?
Energy?
No.
Life?
The only quality existence has is to exist. It's the only thing it can do. Existence can only simply exist. It only has that quality. That's all it is. It's purely that quality, existence. It can't become anything other than existence. So if you exist, you can't become non-existent. It can't happen. You can change form, but you cannot become that which does not exist. Non-existence is already full of all the things that will never exist. There's no room in non-existence for the things that do exist. You follow?
I follow, yeah. But I guess still my logical mind is still the barrier that I have to get through.
Do you exist?
I do.
Then how can you stop existing?
I can't.
Well, then, it's not your logical mind that's having a problem. What part of your being is having a problem with this?
I don't know. I guess we'll have to go back and think about it.
No, thinking about it won't help. Because your logical mind gets the point. So what's thinking about it going to do? I think you have to have an experience. You have to have an experience that is the equivalent of ego death. So that you know that once you have had ego death and you still survive, then you know you always will. You won't just, in a sense, know it intellectually, you'll know it viscerally. Would you like an experience of ego death?
Actually, I thought I had already had several. I've had out-of-body experiences, etc., and I thought that would have been similar.
Yes, but obviously it hasn't done the trick, yes?
No, it hasn't.
All right. And you know why? Because that's not an ego death. That's an ego vacation.
Okay, so what's an ego death?
An ego death is getting to the point where you really, really experience the idea that you actually are going to be completely and utterly annihilated, that there'll be absolutely nothing of you left in existence, and then suddenly you find you're all that's left. You're all that is.
Okay, so I'd like that experience. So how does that happen?
Ask for it and it will be given to you.
Okay.
All right?
Yep. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And you good day.
I am writing a book about working in the quantum field.
Oh, all right. Congratulations. Is that exciting?
Yes, very exciting.
Oh, thank you.
I wondered if you would perhaps share some insights and guidance in this area, and I would also like to ask if it is possible to provide a download or an adjustment to my consciousness to help me with this task.
Have you heard us speak about the idea of teleportation in the sense of relocation through vibratory locational variables?
Yes.
Is that something that you can get more inspired about within the context of the work that you are doing?
Yes.
Then that's the direction to go in.
Teleportation.
The idea of understanding that an object does not exist within a location, that a location is a variable that is part of the frequency signature of an object. and that when you change the location signature variable, you will automatically change the location of the object.
Yes.
So explore that further, and you will open up a whole new understanding in the quantum field.
Non-locality?
Repeat.
Non-locality.
Non-locality. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Does that help you?
Yes, and what about what about a download or adjustment to my consciousness, the second part of my question?
When you are in a state that is a channeling state, when you are working on the book, when you are getting out of your way and not overanalyzing it, in that moment, if you just open up, it will come. More and more, more and more, more and more. The downloads can come in such a manner as to occur very rapidly and then require some time period to actually write everything out that you have received in the download. But if you simply center yourself, take a deep breath, get in touch with the energy of the fact that you really enjoy doing this, and stay in that joy and let all the analytical information go by the wayside for a moment, in that blank, neutral space of joy, you can then best receive downloads that will then suddenly pop into your analytical mind as information to be processed. All right?
I understand.
Now, one moment. Do you have a favorite piece of music?
Absolutely.
And that would be what?
It's actually a music that is created for the moment. I play the electric violin.
All right. Are there some specific chords that really allow you to feel totally and utterly centered?
Absolutely.
All right. That is your best vibrational state for receiving downloads. All right?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.